Hey guys, so I've had a few people asking me about formatting essays and what's the right way to format an essay. I'm going to show you the style that I normally use. It's not necessarily the only correct way that you can do things, but it is certainly a simple enough system. Whatever style you end up choosing to go for, you just got to remember that the main aim is to make sure that it is neat and easy to follow, because you don't want a messy format to be messing up with the content and make it harder for the marker to see what you've actually written about the subject. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a style for this essay. Styles are basically preset text formats that the rest of the essay can then use. So it's nice and simple. Go to the bottom drop down there, go to create a style and modify. Name it what you want, as long as it's easy for you to find again later. So I'll name mine Essay 1. And then choose a font. I would normally recommend choosing either Times New Roman or Palatino Linotype. Either one is perfectly fine. I normally use that one, just because it looks more official. It's way easier to follow. It's a really nice font, very easy to read. And change the font size to about 12. Because the level's a bit too small. Left aligned. And in this middle category here, you'll see these sets of lines. So we're going to go for the middle one. You'll see here the line spacing is 1.5 lines. That will just be the spaces between one line to the one following it. 1.5 is a good enough distance so that when you get your feedback back from Turnitin, the lecturers can annotate on the sheet and it's easy to read. It's also easy for any other readers to read exactly what you've written and what's going on in your essay. So once that's set, just click OK, and it should appear at the top here. It's Essay 1. So we're going to select everything, Control A, and set it to Essay 1. And you'll see that now everything is following that format except your footnotes. And your footnotes, unfortunately, you'll just have to change manually. So the next thing to do is to format your cover page. The cover page is really simple. All it will have on it is the title, your name and the class that you're in, the lecturer's name who will be marking that essay, the module title, and your word count. Mine is not 2,000 words. Let me actually just do that kind of correctly. So that's 213 words. I was close, 2,000. So the first thing that I would suggest you do is centralize everything. Make your title nice and big. That's the main focus of what you're writing. And take it down a couple of lines. Your own name and your class can go next, and then right down at the bottom will be all the other information. The word count doesn't need to be quite as big as everything else on that sheet, but just make sure that everything is still on your cover, and that way everything is nice, it's spaced out, it's easy to read. You can adjust with the sizings and the gaps between each section if you want. But that's the basic cover page format. We're going to leave the essay plan for now. One of the steps that we do later towards the end will make the essay plan really easy to put in, so don't worry about that for now. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some page numbers in. So if we go over to Insert, and you've got your page number section here in the header and footers, click on that and go down to Format Page Numbers. And what we want to do here is go to Start At and put that down to 0. And that will basically mean that the first page number that Word will put into the document will be page 0, and the next one page 1, and so on. And the reason why we do this is because when we put our page numbers in, you'll see that it starts on the cover page. And you don't necessarily want a page number on your cover page with that being the front page. So then if we go up here and we go to different first page, click that, boom, that's gone. And your page numbers start from 0 from your contents page, which is how everything should be. Next, we're going to indent our paragraphs. Again, this is just to help clarity, to help follow the essay, and it's really simple. The first thing you've got to do is make sure you've got your ruler showing. If you don't have your ruler showing, go over to View, and here make sure that the ruler option is ticked, and that ruler will show up there. So just select your paragraphs and just take this top tab here and take it right across to 0.75 or 1, depending on the gap that you want. The exact number isn't very important as long as if there is an indent there. And what that'll do is every single new paragraph that you put in, the first line of it will start with a little indent to make it clear that you're working onto a new line. Again, this is for ease for the reader and for the marker to see what's going on. It makes it easy to immediately get to a certain point in your essay to very clearly see what it is you are saying. Next, we move to our bibliography. Don't forget to put all of your years in. Let's make up a random one. Full stops at the end of everything. Same with your footnotes. Make sure that everything's got a full stop at the end of every footnote. And the first thing we're going to need to do is alphabetize it. So if you select it, go to Home, and go to this little alphabet option in the top there. Sort by ascending. OK. Simple. And then we're going to do an indent, but we're going to do a second line indent. So we're going to highlight it again, and instead of going to this top tab in the ruler, we're going to go to the second tab down and drag that out to about 1.5-ish. And then I'll put the second line across. The main reason why we do that is so that markers and readers can see the kind of sources and scholars that it is that you're using. It's very easy then for them to see the exact surnames for your references and for them to see what kind of doctors and writers it is that you are referring to in your essay. If you've got a lot of different books in your bibliography and you are struggling to fit it all in one page in this format, then highlight it all and go to paragraph, and instead of line spacing at 1.5 lines in your bibliography, it can just be single. That will condense it down a bit. It still looks neat and tidy, and it's still just as easy to follow as it was before. And so one of the final things to do is to put your headings in. So where you've got titles and subtitles in your text, which you should, it's always advisable to do to break up your essay and to make it easier to follow, take all of your main titles and change them to heading 1. Again, even here you can mess around with the fonts and the sizes and the colors, and it will still remain as heading 1 in the top here. So that's the main title. That's the main title. Again, if especially want, you can create your own header style. But it ultimately doesn't really matter too much. It's not too much effort to change the font round. So once you've got all your headings done, then you can do your subheadings. And so where for your main headings you've used heading 1, for your subheadings obviously you're using heading 2. Again, you can change the font, you can change the color, adapt it however you want, and it will still stay as heading 2. And we will see why this is a helpful practice to do in just a second. Don't forget your bibliography as well. It's always helpful and important to have that on your main contents page. So have that as heading 1 as well. We can resize that a bit. Put a gap in there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our essay plan. Get rid of that, we don't need that there. And go over to References, and across you'll see Table of Contents. If you go into that, and you can go for automatic, you go for your table style. I'd go for one of the automatics, 1 or 2. What you'll see there is your main headings and your subheadings in the brackets under them. Even here, play around with, your fonts, your font sizes, font colors, format however you want, but that way all of the page numbers are coded for, nice and simple, and your contents page is in. And that's basically all formatting an essay looks like. Don't forget to have your word count at the bottom of your actual essay. Again, you might want to centralize that. It just looks a bit neater. And then you're done. Convert it to a PDF and submit it. Hope this helps. God bless, guys.